Hold up.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Win. Win, 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 win.
Yeah.
Curve everything else. Win, 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 win.
Win.
These ops ain't lit.
We got a DIY for yo, but today let's go Gucci inspired kicks. So these are all the goodies that I have picked up for this DIY. I will list them down in the description below because it was a lot of like just little trinkets and things that I personally like. But yeah, so this was the initial, finished product, but I'm like, it needs more. We need more. So this is what we will be first attempting, is to use the Velcro jewels and crystals and gems that I have. I got some from Etsy, some from my local craft stores like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, all of that, to make the shoe. But we're first going to start with this elastic knit band, and this is how we will make this completely detachable shoe decal, I guess is what it is. They were inspired by the new Gucci joints that have like the big gems on them. So I got this tray of jewels from Etsy, and I will link the store down below. If you get anything from the Etsy owners, let them know where you heard about them from. So hopefully in the future they may give us a little coupon code or something so we can make our DIYs a little more affordable. So what I did is I just took the elastic and I measured it around the shoe to see where I needed it to fit, so it would fit snugly on the shoe without like moving too much, because again I wanted this to be completely detachable. So I used the little Velcro pieces that I got also from Joann's fabric store, so I could just fit it in place and make sure this was the right amount. And then I just used this strip of elastic to measure for the other shoe, so I didn't have to do this eyeball measuring twice. And these were like self-stick. I did actually end up using these on the shoe, and they're white, so they just blended in with the shoe. But to make sure they were extra secure, I did use E6000 to glue it down. And at first I was going to have like the whole strap be detachable, so it kind of like you just loop it on your shoe every time you wore it. But I felt like that was going to cause more wear and tear than necessary. So I ended up just gluing the elastic into like a big loop so you can just like strap it on the shoe. And then here is where I use the Velcro strips to make the shoe strap where it already has Velcro on it. You see that strap? I hope this is making sense. To make the decal strip detachable, I made sure that the original one that's already on the shoe was lined up nice and neat, and then measured out how much elastic I needed to go around that portion of the shoe, and again just cut out another piece using the one that I measured first for the other shoe. And to make this part detachable, this is where I glued the little Velcro strip onto the actual shoe. And because it's white, I feel like it didn't take anything away from the original shoe. Now, if it was colored, I feel like it would have been a distraction. Because it's white, you can barely see it. So we glued one part to the shoe, and then we glued the other portion to the elastic band, and that's how we make the strap decal detachable. So there is 2 detachable parts for this DIY. And voila. So to make sure everything was fitting in its right spot, I did need to create the actual decals on the shoe. I first attempted off camera to try and make it so it's laying flat, because with glue, the E6000 glue does not dry like super glue. So it takes some time. So forming it or creating it on a 3D object causes the items to slide around. So you just have to take your time and give it just a little bit of time to set. You don't have to hold it forever, but you do have to hold it in place so that it doesn't slide off, because like I said, E6000 does not immediately dry. So this gold piece that you're seeing here, this crystal, was actually a top that I was going to attempt to wear, but the girls were not having it, and it was a non-returnable item. So I'm like, what can we do? So I saw these shoes. I said, ooh, we're going to DIY this, and this would be perfect. But I do have, I believe, an Etsy store where you can get something similar and something that may be actually a little bit more affordable that will lay better, because this is actual chain, so it does create a bit of a mess, because the backing, all the little rhinestones, they're all chained together. So when you cut it, you have the pieces that are the actual chain part come off. So I do have a suggestion, which I will link down below, that you can use instead of this, that will still give you the sparkle but less mess and less harsh on your scissors, shears, whatever you're using. This little decal I got from Joann's. It's really a hook and eye closure for like a blouse or something, a decorative hook and eye closure. But I decided to break it in half and just use it as a decal to kind of mask where this gold chain stops, because I didn't want it to go all the way around the shoe. So I just used it to kind of mask where it stops and then keep going on the opposite side of the shoe with the decals and stuff that I got from Etsy. And again, E6000 glue is the GOAT for every project that I do. So now, like I said, this was the original, but it just needed more. The shoe is just so white and so plain. It just needed some more razzle dazzle. So I used a smaller strip of elastic band. It's actual different size, which I will link down below because I do not remember offhand. And we're going to put it on the front and back of the shoe to give it some more rhinestone crystal detailing. And we're securing it in place by using where we use the Velcro for the strap and the bottom of the shoe. I will also link the shoes that I purchased down below and a better option for the shoe, because if your shoes have grooves in the bottom, that will work so much better and helps to keep the elastic band stay in place. Where I have placed the elastic band on this shoe, it works fine because it's under the ball of my foot, so that's where all the pressure goes, so it doesn't slip or slide unless I drag my foot. But shoes with grooves in the bottom where the elastic can actually sit into will do much better because it actually won't touch the ground. So again, less wear and tear. So I will link both options down below. So now there's really no rhyme or reason to this. It kind of just goes by how you feel. I did create a pattern using these opal jewels, which again will be linked down below, and the crystal rhinestone jewels. Both are from Etsy. I just created like a little pattern, so I didn't use too many of one, and I tried to stretch it out between both shoes. I did want it to be majority white, so that's why I chose this pattern. If you have more jewels and more gems, you can go a little more crazy with it. But you know, the design is, you know, to each his own. So now that the original elastic piece, detachable piece, is like pretty much secure, now I can go ahead and create the two smaller pieces. As you can see, I have one on the front and one in the back. And for the front, I'm just going to cut smaller strips of that same chain gold detail and glue it to the front strap. And it will be majority on the back as well. But I did use my remaining opal little gems and crystals to create a little decal on the back of the shoe, which I will show shortly. And you can see that I'm using super glue because I needed it to dry quickly, but I do not suggest super glue. I was being very impatient. E6000 is better because super glue somehow like erodes the backing of any crystals that I've tried, rhinestone trims, and it fogs your crystals. So if you want them to shine bright like real diamonds, go with E6000. You'll get all your shimmer because that super glue goes through the back of it and makes your rhinestones foggy. And we don't want that. We want all the shine. So like I said, see how you can see how the gem is falling? You have to place your shoe in different ways wherever you're working on it so that your items can dry. These were just extra decals that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. They're actually necklace or bracelet charms, but we love Mother Africa. We wanted to, you know, give a little bit, you know, a little bit of shine on the shoe. So I took off the jump ring and I just glued that onto the back of the shoe, well, side back of the shoe. And you can see how I have it laying flat because we're working on this side. Whatever side you're working on, so your items can actually adhere to the elastic. That's how you want to lay your shoe. And like when I was working on the back, which you'll see in a second, I actually held the shoe up and just used my stomach and chest to hold it against the table so that those items could dry on the back of the shoe. And when I'm laying down chain, you want to make sure that it doesn't go too far around the bottom of the shoe because you don't want to step on it because, again, that's creating wear and tear. So just put it down as far as you can see on the shoe, but not under it to where you'll be walking on it. And this little thing I'm using to move the gem train, rhinestone chain around is a jewel picker upper, which you can get from Hobby Lobby. Really, any craft store in the beading section is to pick up beads and whatnot. And this is our finished shoe. So we're going to repeat all those steps on the other shoe. Again, using the GOAT E6000 to get it done. And if you want to pause here, this is how you can see my pattern, because like I said, it's to each his own, so I didn't really want to focus on that. I wanted to focus on how you actually construct the shoe. So just repeating those same steps. And I made the original elastic piece with one big elastic piece with the front gem details. So when you take off where the big rhinestone is, that front skinny rhinestone will come off as well. So it's really a 3-part shoe, a 3-part detachable shoe decal. The velcro strap that goes across the middle comes off by itself, the back portion comes off by itself, and then that whole front section, including the part that goes over the toe, is one piece. And this is our finished shoes. They're so cutie. I'm so proud of them. They're so chunky, but that's the thing now, the dad shoes, I guess, this chunky feel. And I'm really vibing with how they turned out. And I'll insert a couple clips of how I styled them one time. And you can also see in the thumbnail a different way I styled them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. If you attempt it, make sure you tag me, show me, send it to me so I can see. If you have not already, you need to subscribe and join the Tan Bam fam so you can always be notified when I have a brand new upload. Could be fashion, could be hair, could be a DIY. You never know what I'm giving you. But thank you so much for coming and joining my family and viewing this video. And I will see y'all in the next one. Stay true.